Hey guys, today we're going to be doing battery replacement on our 2013 and up Ford Escape, but this time we're going to be going the airbox method. I'm going to show you the tools required and the steps needed, so let's get started. Now obviously you're going to need your battery. These cars take a 96R battery. And then to do all of these steps, you're going to need some dielectric grease, which is optional but preferred so you don't get corrosion on the terminals of your battery, a T25 Torx, a 10 and 8mm socket. And I have my 1/4 inch drive socket here, as well as a little pry tool to pop off some plastic snaps. Just like any other battery procedure, we're going to use a 13mm socket and remove the negative terminal from the frame. We're going to take the stud out and put it in a safe place. All right, we're first going to begin by reaching in and popping off our cover. Then we're going to take our T25 Torx drive and we're going to remove these 2 screws so that we can lower the brake fluid reservoir. Now that this is free, we can safely push it out of the way as we go to remove our airbox. Now to have some more space to move some of these lines out of the way and to get our wrench in, we're going to take off the cover here. Now we're going to be able to move some of this stuff out of the way. We're going to be loosening this 8mm bolt right there, and then there's one more down here as well. So I have my 8mm 1/4 inch drive socket with a long extension. Reach across the air intake right here. I'm just going to do some loosening of it to the point where it will not be engaged anymore with the airbox, but it'll still be engaged to this boss right there. Okay, and I'm going to do the same to the one down here. Alright, so when you have a few threads exposed, it should disengage the airbox. Alright, now we're going to take this rubber strap and separate it. Get that out of the way. And then this whole airbox should come loose, especially from the 2 screws here. So that's okay to dangle there, and now we're going to work on our battery. Alright, our next step is going to be disconnecting that positive terminal so that this main wire lead is disconnected from the battery. Then we're going to work on taking off the front of the box itself. This is going to be a 10mm socket. We're just going to loosen it enough to get it off the terminal. You don't have to take the screw all the way out because it'll kind of mess up the clamp. Alright, so we got that off there. Now we're going to use this pry tool and we're going to remove the hose and the snaps from holding it onto the front wall here. You got to use the tool to pop off these little push rivets. So I forgot one point of attachment for this main wire harness, which is down here. So I'm going to take this pry tool and pop that one out too. That gives us a lot more flexibility. All right, next, this is one of the tricky parts of having to reach under the wiper cowl, but we need to release the nuts over here and over here to take off the retaining bracket that goes across the middle of the battery. So I got my 10mm socket. I'm going to reach in there. Okay, there's the second one. I'm going to reach in and pull up on the bracket to get it off of those posts, slide it forward, put it off to the side. Now we're going to slide the battery forward. Okay, this is about as far as we can get it because you don't want to strain the wires for the negative terminal back here. Alright, now again we're going to take our 10mm socket and we're going to loosen the nut on the back terminal. Now I want to be careful because this is part of a battery management system here. We're going to be resetting that after we put in the new battery. And now we can slide the whole thing out. I have my new battery here. If you can take your old battery to the store, when you get your new battery, you'll get some money off for a core return. But I'm going to take off my caps just that were covered for safety for transport. Now, we're going to put a little bit of dielectric grease on the new terminals. So here we have a blob of the grease on the negative terminal. I'm going to take a paper towel. I'm just going to rub it around so you just have a really thin coat. That will help prevent corrosion long term, so it should feel just a little slick on your finger without being visible. And I had enough grease on the paper towel where I'm going to go to the positive terminal as well. So I have my new battery here. The negative terminal is going to go in the back. Positive needs to go in the front. So I'm going to lower it into the tray. About halfway again. I'm going to find my negative terminal we're always going to connect the negative terminal first. I'm going to put that clamp right over the post, just like it was before. I'm going to take my 10mm socket and tighten it now. Just hand tight, nice and snug. All right, now that the negative terminal is connected, I'm going to slide the battery back into the tray. Before we put the front wall and positive terminal back on, we need to reinstall the retaining bracket that goes across the top of the battery. So you're going to reach under it and install it right over the top of each of the studs and line up over there. You want to make sure that the bracket is snug across the top of the battery, just like it is there. All right, now we're going to take our 10mm nuts and reach back in and install them on the studs. Just going to get them in place, one on each side, and then we can go back in with our socket. The other one over here. Try not to have butterfingers. All right, now we're going to come in with our 10mm socket and tighten this down. Tighten that. Go over to this side. All right, and that just needs to be hand snug. Again, it's just holding the battery from bouncing around. Now we're still not ready to do our positive terminal yet, but we are ready to put our wall back in. So we want to have the sides of this front cover panel popped into the grooves on the sides of the rest of the box. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the sides of the front tray, I'm going to rock it in on the left side first because there's a groove right here and a groove right here on the box. So I'm going to raise it up, get it in the groove on the left, kind of push. I'm going to get it in the groove on the right, and then these retaining features on the top make it so that when you push it down, it locks it in place and it doesn't come out anymore. Now we're going to connect our positive terminal and then push our wire back in. All right, when you connect your positive terminal, you will hear the relays and stuff start to click and go on. All right, just snug. And then we're going to take our wire connectors. I'm going to start with the one down below. I'm going to pop that in. Take this one, push that in. And then I'm just going to get the wire tie around here just for its own memory of being where it used to be. All right, that's the battery in the box. Now we're going to put our airbox system back in. Now when reinstalling your airbox, this is mine upside down, you're going to have 1, 2, and you usually have a third one of those, but this one broke off a really long time ago. You're going to want to align them right there, and right there. So as I lower this in, I'm going to keep this airflow sensor and the main snorkel intake pulled away to the left. I'm going to let this go down and find its home. All right, once it's in its spot, I'm going to push. All right, so it found its spot. All right, we made sure that this strap was over top of that intake there. We're going to wrap it around so that the tooth is around the strap, so that's tight again. And now we're going to realign our intake line with these 8mm screws down low right there and up high right there. So we are going to go back to our 8mm socket with our extension. I'm going to move some of these guys out of the way, and we're going to drive that back in. It's not quite lined up. There we go. All right. Then we're going to do the lower screw. All right, that's snug. Now we're going to take our T25 driver and reattach our brake fluid reservoir. I'm going to get these started by hand. We're going to take our engine cover and align the hole over top of the oil fill plug and push down with both hands. All right, now we're going to take our cover. Once the cover's on, we're going to reinstall the 13mm studs, securing the negative terminal to the frame. You may see a slight spark when you're doing this as the circuit's completed. All right, new battery's in. Now we're going to go reset the BMS so that the car treats the battery like a new battery instead of the memory that it had with the charging habits of the old battery. All right, so we got our key, and we're going to turn it on to accessory mode, which is 2 clicks around. So the car is going to be turned on, but we're not going to have the engine on. Next, we're going to flash our brights 5 times. So with this lever on the side here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to hit the brake pedal 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to keep an eye on the battery system here. And when it flashes 3 times, All right, 3 times tells us our battery management system's been reset. It seems like there are different camps of people, whether the airbox or the wiper cowl method is better. I think if you're familiar with pulling the airbox, it really doesn't take that long, but I will say the plastic hoses to the left of the airbox tend to get brittle if your car's old like mine, so I was a little nervous with the socket wrench slapping around and hitting all those lines. But if you don't want to be messing with your wiper calibration and taking the cowl off and all those little clips and screws and stuff, maybe the airbox method is for you. Let me know in the comments below what you think, which one you prefer, and if this was helpful. If it was, give us a like, thumbs up, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.